So given that counterterrorism kind of runs into issues of privacy, is there a point where you would say that you'd be willing to compromise a little bit of those privacy rights? Is there like a human life
Right.
point?
There's a great description of this in the Suicide Pact by Judge Napolitano. And we've always had this question of whether you can trade some liberty for security. You know, and Franklin says if you trade liberty for security, you'll have neither. The way Napolitano puts this is he tries to define rights different than services. The government providing you a service, the national security apparatus or the intelligence agencies, they're providing you a service. So your security is a service, whereas your right to privacy is a right. He argues that they're two fundamentally different things and you can't exchange a right for a service, and that it's a false trade and you should never do it. I would say that when you look at danger and national protection, that there is a little bit of difference between those who are here and those who are not. So for example, if you are an American and you've gone overseas and you're fighting with ISIS and you're toting a gun, I think it's important because people kind of get lost in the whole Bill of Rights Constitution. The Constitution doesn't really apply to you at all. I mean, if you're in a war zone and you're shooting at us, we're going to shoot you. No one's going to read you Miranda rights. They're just going to shoot you. So there is a difference between the war zone. It becomes a little more complicated, though, that let's say you're al-Awlaki. So you're al-Awlaki or his son, which we killed, or his daughter, which we killed, and you're overseas and you're a propagandist. Al-Awlaki may never have ever raised a rifle or shot a bullet. Was he dangerous and an enemy of ours? Yes, but it's different. I mean, we have to sort of decide as a country whether, like Tokyo Rose, would we all push the button to kill Tokyo Rose with a cruise missile or with a drone? I don't know. I mean, there has to be some question of where it ends. Do I have a problem with drones going around the side of the mountain and shooting 50 opposing soldiers? No, I mean, that's great. I do worry about when we can push a button and it goes 2,000 miles away or 3,000 miles away and we just kill someone. There's also the practical aspect of whether or not we actually kill more than we create. And I'll give you an example. We sent the Navy SEALs into Yemen recently. Does anybody remember us voting to go to war in Yemen? We are at war, allied with Saudi Arabia in Yemen. There's been no vote. It's absolutely terrible and unconstitutional. But also from a practical point of view, we sent a Navy SEAL team in there. They killed some people, including al-Awlaki's daughter. I don't know how the al-Awlakis show up everywhere, but they killed the daughter, they killed several women, and they killed some al-Qaeda targets. Now, they all claim it's worth it, but they won't even tell me what they got. I've asked them in secure hearings, what'd you get? Oh, we got some good stuff. It's really going to be good for the country. We're really keeping you safe. But they won't even tell specifically what they got, so I have to trust these people that it was worth it. But I can tell you this is my theory. If you live in Yemen, my guess is you heard about the night the Americans came, and that they will talk about it for 1,000 years, and they will talk about the fact that they came and killed everyone in the village. I don't know if they killed everyone, but they did kill several of the women, several of the kids. It's hard on our soldiers. I got 3 nephews who are in the armed services. I don't blame our soldiers, but I do blame our politicians for putting our soldiers in a situation like that. But I promise you, for 1,000 years, they're going to talk about it. What's the other thing they're going to talk about in Yemen for 1,000 years? They're going to talk about how the Saudis came with American bombs and American guidance technology, and they bombed a funeral procession, and they killed 150 people, and 500 people were wounded. See, we're more concerned about Britney Spears or some kind of actress on TV or what they're wearing. They still talk about the Battle of Karbala in 832 AD. I mean, these people have a long history. They're not going away. They live there. And one of the most famous comments over there is, you guys have the watches, but we've got the time. They're going to stay there forever. Are we going to stay in Afghanistan forever? But I guess back to the fundamental question, is there a trade-off? I think there can be a different standard. There isn't always a Fourth Amendment standard for privacy for everybody in the world. For us, there is. If you are in the United States, you get protected. And it's important, it's not just citizens, it's all persons in the United States. But coming in, I can even agree to a little bit of a lower standard, like the 702 standard isn't probable cause to get information. But I do worry we've gone too far when we collect all of the phone information in Italy. We have a whole month's worth of data for everybody in Italy. When we're collecting Angela Merkel's private cell phone calls, I worry that we've gone too far. When we have billions and billions of phone calls stored in Utah desert of Americans' data, I worry that we've gone too far. So to my mind, you shouldn't have to give up liberty for security. And if you ever do, the error should always be on the side of liberty.
Thank you.